Pro skating, pig racing and roulette. What could possibly go wrong? Welcome, I'm Matthew and this is the What You Played news. We start off this week with some Quacks of Quedlinburg sequel news with the announcements of Mick Quacks and Co. Nacht Quedlinburg, a racing-themed follow-up to the multi-award-winning Cauldron Exploding Push Your Luck game. It's race day in Quedlinburg, and with the right combination of food and luck and an emotional pre-race pep talk with a pig who's trying to gain its confidence back, but something to do with the power of friendship, you'll be able to ride your trusty mount to victory and claim the Golden Cauldron. Also, by trusty mount, it looks like all your noble steeds will be of the barnyard variety. The gameplay here looks as though it's going to be similar to the original, but instead of the 2 to 4 players working to get the furthest along their own track, you'll be racing together on one track, and you'll do this by drawing chits to combo your movement along while buying more chits to progress further the next time. The game includes a double-sided game board for a shorter or longer race, orange and purple tokens that provide new movement powers, double-sided action boards for each type of coloured token allowing you to play with different sets of actions from game to game, and looks, to me at least, from the artwork and components we can see, and the shorter 25-minute playtime, to be a simpler version of the original game. The other thing that makes me think that is, along with this sequel, Wolfgang Warsch and Schmidt are also bringing a second sequel with Auch, Schon, a follow-up game in the So Clever line of roller rides and ultimately phone apps that I do get addicted to for short and unforgiving periods of time. In Auch, Schon, you want to get your hands on everything you can at a birthday party. Balloons, gifts, candles, mountains of sweets. But will you be able to grab more than the other partygoers? Or you could share. No. Grab the most, making great memories for everybody. Again, Auch, Schon features gameplay similar to its predecessors, with one player rolling the dice on their turn and choosing what they want, while everyone else gets something from what's left behind, with each of the different dice scoring in a different way and at times offering bonus actions to help you to point scoring combo fun. Auch, Schon is aimed at a younger audience but hopes to be fun for the whole family, and I think it's a wonderful idea. This episode is made possible in part by the Flip and Write adventure Explorers from Ravensburger, North America, which takes players on a journey into a strange world, racing against each other to find gems, keys to hidden temples and animals. Each explorer traverses the same landscape, which means your success depends on the paths you choose to make. Draw an exploration token, then traverse that landscape by placing crosses on your map, and other players can follow you and rack up locations, or choose to explore elsewhere less efficiently. The discoveries each player makes along the way will earn them points, and the player with the most points becomes the greatest explorer of all time. Explorers supports 1 to 4 players and includes expert rules for experienced adventurers, as well as an achievements variant. Follow the link in this video's description for details and discover it soon, exclusively at friendly local game stores. Garfield Games have announced Legacy of You, and they did it just at the last moment while I was writing the script. But I got it. This is a professional news show. According to the game's blurb and history, I think, during the reign of Emperor Yao, the people of ancient China were constantly plagued by deadly floods along the Yellow River. Eager to put an end to this devastation, Yao selected Gun, one of his officials, to devise a plan. After 9 years of failed attempts using dams and dikes, Gun's employment came to a questionable end. After his passing, Yu inherited his father's work, and learning from Gun's failures, Yu set out to construct a series of canals to direct the surging rivers into nearby fields and smaller waterways. Legacy of You is a solo-only, fully resettable, non-linear campaign game where you step into the role of the legendary hero of the Shah dynasty. you the Great. It will be your job to build the canals ahead of the impending flood, while also defending your growing village against neighbouring barbarian tribes. With each game, stories will be shared and new gameplay elements added, and the campaign features a self-balancing system which adapts to how well you're doing. So for me that means that eventually the game will just play itself while I eat cookies over the course of the 7-game campaign. Skate Summer was announced by Pandasaurus and is currently on Kickstarter, and honestly what excites me about this is it was described by Pandasaurus as in the vein of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater the board game. Now, not only is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater one of the greatest video games of all time, it also, along with the very underappreciated MTV Snowboarding, defined my musical taste. Bad Religion, Lagwagon, Millencolin, come on people. It's summer and you're riding the sun-drenched half-pipes Pelican Park. Locals know there's no ledge too high, no rail too long and no ramp too dangerous for you and your crew. No security guard too fast, no attempted kickflip in front of the girl you like, too embarrassing. I'm drawing on some personal experience here, but it's your mission to nail gnarly combos and show off your skills. But of course, the longer you stay on your board, the more likely you are to bail. And she'll go on to marry an accountant you never liked. True story. The object of Skate Summer is to score points doing combos, collecting gold tokens and visiting different locations on your board on the board, and players simultaneously play trick cards, earn rewards and roll dice to check their balance. They then spend points to upgrade their skills, navigate around the park and draw cards to do it all over again. I will be 100% checking it out when it becomes available later this year once the Kickstarter delivers. Galileo Project by Sorry We Are French caught my eye because I mean, come on. Look at it. Coming from the designer of Oriflamme, which is a wonderful card game, and Galileo's successor, if not a sequel, to another great game, the tableau building Ganymede. 30 years after sailing the first colonial ships from Ganymede, humanity decided to launch Project Galileo. Its goal? Settle the 4 main satellites of Jupiter, Io, Europa, Ganymede and Callisto, all first observed by Galileo in 1610, hence the name. And it's in order to broaden the human presence in the solar system. 2 to 4 players are the corporations aiming to settle on the 4 satellites of Jupiter by acquiring robots from Earth and Mars, recruiting experts, developing technologies and building superstructures. And it does all this in a new engine building, combo chaining kind of way. I think Sorry We Are French have been knocking it out the park recently with the roll and write Demeter, which is in the same universe as Galileo, and Ikki, which is also, I guess, in the same universe, though just in the Edo period of Japan. I have said many times that The Crew Mission Deep Sea is my favourite game of all time. I won't shut up about it. So when I see a new game by its designer, Thomas Singh, I'm going to be interested in it. Which is why Circles looks so cool to me. Also, what the heck is going on here? Thomas asked if he could do it, but not if he should do it. Just like when Chaz bought that abandoned oil derrick from eBay. There's not much known about Circles yet, other than it features a double-sided game board with 2 different games in the box, both of which are driven by the same game action mechanism of a player rolling a ball in the felt-covered exterior ring, roulette style. On one side of the game board, you'll dive into the Wild West to mine gold and silver, fight bandits and fulfill your dream of owning your own ranch. See, that's a reasonable dream, Chaz. Not whatever the heck you're doing off the coast of Liechtenstein. And on the other side of the game board, you'll visit the shooting range, trying your hand at hitting various targets. This is now my most anticipated game of the year. I can't even begin to tell you how much I'm into this. I'm excited. I'm just really excited about it. Circles is being published by Hook, who just announced a slew of 2022 titles. Too many to mention, but in Goblin Coaster, the goblins want to make their dungeon more attractive and have decided to build a really cool roller coaster. The only problem is while construction hasn't finished, one of the goblins has accidentally started the ride. So 1 to 6 players try to finish the track before it's too late in this fast-paced cooperative tile laying game. Gondolieri by prolific designers Michael Kiesling and Andreas Schmidt has 2 to 5 players trying to take tourists to all the sites they can along the canals of Venice, and they do so by rolling dice and pushing their luck in a way that's reminiscent of the classic push your luck dice game Can't Stop. After the first roll of the dice, your player decides which of their gondolieri they want to advance, and you can roll the dice more if you'd like to move further, as long as you can roll the right colour. And the last I'll cover here, even though there was a bunch more announced, is Overbooking, where 2 to 4 players are trying to get reservations for the last few hotel rooms in town, after the king invites everyone to his daughter's wedding. And you do this through bluffing and second guessing what your opponents will be up to. I'm a big fan of Auch. I'm always going to be interested in what they release, and this year's slate is no different. I wanted to mention before our final story the Tabletop Find It book that's launching on Kickstarter on February 8th. The book includes over 20 Find It images beneath its hardcover, and each image will have a host of board game goodness going on, with your mission being to find it being the items labelled in the key. The difficulty of these tasks varies from page to page. I tried to do a few and they were way harder than I was expecting. To me, this feels like a great board game coffee table book, and if it looks cool to you, then head on over to the Kickstarter when it launches. And finally, we have Ceres from Artipia Games, coming also to Kickstarter, where the year is 2219. The days of Earth being the centre of humankind's attention has ceased. The time of interplanetary space flights, space exploration and exploitation is already upon us. Mars, having been terraformed and colonised for more than 50 years, facilitates, among others, the headquarters of the Asteroid Mining Assembly of Corporations, a regulatory and corporate instrument of authority overseeing all that concern the asteroid mining corporations. It's good to see that bureaucracy is still alive and well in 200 years. Ceres is a sci-fi worker placement game where 1 to 4 players take on the roles of asteroid mining corporations and can choose among a bunch of actions, including launching mining probes to the asteroid belt, trading raw materials, constructing and upgrading their core facilities, as well as expanding the colony of Ceres itself, improving their technology through research and liaisoning with the Mars Council in order to exploit their power even more. And it's all being developed by an astrophysicist for what they hope is the best possible thematic application. It all looks very cool, it's well and truly got my attention, and the Kickstarter is also set for this month. And that's the news. To continue your journey on the Watch It Played Express, then your next stop should be one of these 2 videos. This one's got a bullet train and a bunch of mistakes in it, so see you over there. Bye.